These are the 3 most popular drinks in TCM for skin health. And at different times of my life, I've relied on each one of these to help me cure my skin issues, from eczema to acne to skin rashes and just inflammation. According to TCM, most things that appear on our skin are a result of internal heat or internal dampness, both of which is something I faced my entire life. And as soon as I cracked that code with these drinks helping me, everything just went away. So it comes down to 3 really simple ingredients. I'm going to show you exactly how to make it. So if you love holistic beauty and wellness, please subscribe to our Beauty Within family and let me show you the first recipe. Starting with the one I love most. This is barley tea. So this is actually a really popular ingredient all around Asia, and you might have tried it or heard of it in Korean restaurants as well. It's called boricha. And then there's also Japan who uses barley tea, which is called mujicha or mugicha. But the Chinese barley is actually different. And in TCM or Chinese culture, even Cantonese culture, this is used for clearing that dampness and that heat. So it's really good for acne, cystic acne, and eczema, and anything to do with heat and inflammation that I talked about. So it's super easy. Let me show you how to make it. For like a 1-person serving, you can do 50 grams. I'm gonna make 100 grams and measure that out. Adlai, Job's Tears, Koik seed is Chinese barley, and they're kind of characterized by a full white grain. Some other ones that you'll see are very small, and that's not the one you wanted. You also don't want ones that are roasted, because the Korean barley is roasted, which will just make you like a roasted tea. So then you can just add around 1.5 to 2 liters of water, but once again, it kind of depends on how watery or thick you like it, and we can always add more later on. And then we're gonna add the barley into there, turn it up on high, and then just wait for it to boil. So these are pandan leaves. It's an aromatic, so it just makes any kind of drink so fragrant. It gives it a really nice kind of like sweetness. I'm gonna use around like 2 to 3 stalks. We'll just plop that in. And as we boil that out, the flavor and the kind of aroma will come out with it, and it just makes the drink so good. While we wait for that to boil, this drink literally is like shapes my childhood and also early adulthood, because my parents owned a Malaysian restaurant, and every day I would prepare barley drink because it was like one of the drinks on the menu, and we would do exactly the same thing. So when I was young, I had eczema like behind my elbow here, and then that went away. And then in my late teens to early 20s, I had breakouts like forehead and cheeks. And then later on in my 20s, I had cystic acne. And then, you know, now in my early 30s, I don't have acne anymore up here, but I do have it on my body. So every phase of life, we just kind of like go through different skin issues, which is completely normal because, you know, as women, our hormones change as we age. So this drink has honestly been like a dependable, trusty drink that I always go to. It's honestly my fave. So it's boiling now, and then when it's boiling, just turn it down to low and let it simmer for about 40 to 45 minutes. But you'll know when it's kind of ready because the water will become a little bit more like thicker and a little milky in consistency, and the barley will start to become a little bit soft. So at that point, we can blitz it. That's the next step. But I would just say, don't like cover the pan with the lid. Let it have a little bit of a gap just so it can slow simmer. Okay, so it's been about 45 minutes. I can see the liquid has almost evaporated to half and it's really milky. So I'm gonna take out the pandan leaves now. And I just tasted some of the little barley and it's soft. So on top of that, this is also where I replenish and add some water. Okay, so now we're just going to blitz or like blend it just a little bit so that there's a nice soft texture when we drink it. This is also what I used to do at the restaurant. It's not like completely into a smoothie, but just a little bit so it breaks down the big pieces of barley, but we still want kind of chunks of it as well. Okay, so like with most drinks, you can enjoy it iced, like if you're in somewhere humid, hot, or you can have it hot. So warm or hot is preferable because the nature of this drink is already cooling. But if you're gonna have it iced, just fill up like half a cup of ice and then pour in the barley. If you're gonna have it hot, we pour in half the barley and then fill it up with water. So yes, we can make both. Here are our barley drinks. It is so comforting. The texture of the barley is like little pillows. There's not much of a taste, it's just very mild, which is why you will want to put some honey or sugar or black sugar in there. Black sugar is really good when you're on your period. Rock sugar is just great in general for these kind of drinks because it's very subtle. And make sure you drink every part of the drink. Everything will be so good for your skin and your body. Second drink is the Mungbean drink, which is called Ludo Sha or Luktao Sa. And this is also kind of like a quintessential drink that you'll see all across Asia because they have it as soup, they have it as drinks, it's a dessert, and it's super simple. All it's got is the mung bean, which is like this tiny little green bean, and then we just use rock sugar. But we're also going to add milk because the kind of creaminess of adding milk to the drink makes it so good. So mung bean has been used, once again, is very similar to barley for heat and dampness. They're very similar, and I would say like you can just kind of pick which one you enjoy the most or just kind of alternate because they can even be drank together. Like you can even mix them together. So super simple. All we need is about 1 cup of the mung bean. We're going to wash the mung bean and then soak it for an hour or two. You can also do it overnight, and this is just going to make the cooking process a little bit faster. Alrighty, so this has been soaking for about 2 hours. You'll see the water's a tiny little bit green. So we're just gonna pour out the rest and then in a pot, start filling it with water, add the beans in. Pretty basic, it's just the same steps we did with the barley. And don't worry about the water amount too much because we can always add more afterwards if you want it for more of like a thinner consistency or a thicker one. So same thing, we're just going to bring it up to high heat, let it boil, and then turn it down to let it simmer for another 45 minutes until it becomes soft. All these drinks are actually so easy to make because it's the same steps. Love it! Okay, so while that is bubbling away, so mung bean I think is something that I also take for granted because if you grew up in Asia or in an Asian household, it was just like always there. So I talked about this book last time. It's the 5 Elements Cookbook by Zoe. Every page has kind of like an about page, and this is on mung bean. And it says here, it's not only good for skin issues, it's also good if you have a fever, because if you have a fever, you're like phlegm and heat, and it helps to kind of rebalance your body as well. But on top of just the skin benefits, it's actually also really good for bloating or digestion issues, bowel movements, and just general gut health because it's a soluble fiber. And people with acne, at least for myself, over the years, I've learned that you just really want a lot of fiber to help your body kind of regulate everything from hormones to feeling good, looking good. Fiber is like at the root of it, and that's mung bean. So let's check our mung beans. Oh my God, my mung bean was getting dehydrated because the longer it simmers, the water will evaporate. So just make sure you keep an eye on it, that it's not the Sahara Desert, and just add more water as it goes. And you want like a couple inches on top of the bean, but you can actually start to see that the little mung beans are splitting, like that little outer shell has split. And this is a great sign because it's softening. It's pretty much ready to be drank. We're gonna add some rock sugar to it. Because I cooked such a huge pot, it might look like a lot, but rock sugar is really subtle. So we're just gonna let the water that we added in reheat again, and then it's pretty much done. Okay, so just quickly, I know I've talked a lot about dampness and heat, but I know it can be a little confusing if you've never even heard what it means. And this book that I have actually explains it really well. It's Healing Herbal Soups. And at the front, it has kind of like an explainer into what dampness is. Dampness is caused by two things. It's something you ate or drank, or it's the environment around you, or it's both. Most of the time, it's by what we eat. So if you have symptoms like fatigue, feeling bloated, loose stools, loss of appetite, especially all together, and you have like skin inflammation, this is often caused by dampness. And over the years, the most triggering damp drink is milk, but also deep fried fatty foods, dairy products, and some seafood. So that can cause dampness. Then the second thing is heat or fire. And symptoms of excess heat or fire is things like gum swelling, canker sores, pimples, really yellow urine, red eyes, or a slightly sore throat, or even all of the above. So if you're starting to feel like a slight fever, if you have very thick cystic pimples and pustules, literally these are all the things that I would face growing up. I always had I was eating the wrong things and it would just trigger the heat in my body. And so you need to rebalance that. Otherwise, it will just keep coming. And that's your body kind of telling you, I need some help. So things that trigger heat very easily are deep fried foods. That's my main trigger, like deep fried chicken, chips, anything that's too fatty, and then anything that's too hot and spicy. And if you eat too much of it, then it will cause imbalances. Back to our drink. All right, so we're done cooking the mung beans. I'm just gonna scoop it into a bowl. You can see all the delicious little beans are all soft and almost like mushy, which is the consistency you want. So for the final touch, we're just adding some milk for that creaminess, which goes really well with the mung beans. Look at that, it's like a latte. So my aunts actually used to always make this for me. It's especially good if you have it like after a really rich, oily meal. It helps to even the body out and rebalance it because this is all cooling. The only thing to note is that if you have super cold hands and feet, I wouldn't have cold mung bean drink because it's already cooling. So either have it hot or warm. And another thing is if you have like a really weak stomach, like if you have diarrhea, also don't drink the mung bean often because as we said, it's really good for gut health, but helping with bowel movement, but we don't want that much bowel movement. And also if you are making the barley and the mung bean, a lot of times they'll actually use both in the same drink. I haven't actually added milk to a barley drink. I've only had it with the mung bean, but you know, who's to say you can't? It still tastes really good. And also you can use coconut milk if you don't want normal milk. It adds even more of a kind of creamy texture, which is something they do more in like Southeast Asia or in different regions, but milk is fine. And yeah, so good. Okay, so the last drink, and maybe the easiest one, is called Juhua or Chrysanthemum tea, otherwise known as Gok Fa Cha in Cantonese, and this is childhood right here. Okay, so Chrysanthemum tea is literally a flower tea. They're these beautiful pastel yellow flowers, and you just steep it, and it's got the most fragrant, deliciously sweet, slightly bitter kind of taste. Growing up, we would always have this because when you eat a meal, when you go out for dim sum or yum cha, this helps to rebalance all the deep fried foods, the fatty meats, and that's why they serve it all the time at restaurants. So not only does it help to clear the heat and dampness, it also helps with dry, itchy eyes, red eyes, like eye strain, but it also relieves stress, inflammation, and thirst and dry throat. So if any of that is something that you're currently going through, the chrysanthemum flower is something you can definitely drink up to 2 to 3 times per week. I wouldn't overdo any of these, otherwise, too much of a good thing is not a good thing. But I also wanted to show you, you might see at the store there's 2 different types. This is also chrysanthemum flower, but it's more white, and this is a white chrysanthemum flower. This isn't as kind of traditionally used in TCM, although they both are, and this one has slightly different qualities, but I love drinking this one more for kind of like emotional stress, poor sleep, or even like slight digestion issues. So chrysanthemum is great because you can drink it at night. It hasn't got any caffeine, so it's a great little like nightcap, which I often do with Thomas. Try a little bit of both. It's very different, actually.
I'm gonna say this one's yellow.
Why?
I'm assuming I've mostly been drinking yellow in my life.
Yes, you are right. That is the yellow chrysanthemum. And as you were saying, we did grow up with the yellow chrysanthemum tea every time you go out to a restaurant. But now that I taste it side by side, it's quite different.
It's actually good.
Yeah. It's giving more grassy than it is floral. This one's more floral. And this is a great nighttime drink because it's caffeine free. So if you want an alternative to matcha, because matcha is also very cooling in nature, if you want something that gives you the profile and benefits of a matcha without caffeine, chamomile. So yeah, let me show you how to make it. Super easy. Okay, so we'll just boil some water. Okay, while the water's boiling, the chrysanthemum actually goes really well, and it's often combined with some goji berries. So goji berries are great source of antioxidant. It's used in a lot of TCM recipes, but don't have too much. You can just put maybe like 4 to 5. And then I love adding some rosebuds or rose petals, especially at night, because I just feel like it's super calming. But your kind of main combination is chrysanthemum and goji berry. So to make a pot of chrysanthemum tea, you just need around 10 to 12 chrysanthemum flowers. Then if you want to add some goji berries, you can add around 5 to 8. And then if you have rosebuds or you want to add them too, you can add around 3 to 5. It is so pretty. It's a little tea party in the teapot. If you ever want to impress people with tea, because it's so beautiful, this is the one to make. Okay, after just like 3 to 5 minutes of letting it steep, the tea will become this kind of yellowy color, and it's time to pour out. It's like sweet and just slightly bitter. There's something about the chrysanthemum flower that is so unique. It's so calming. You don't even need any sugar. It's very fragrant. And just personally, I think it pairs so well with very heavy foods if you want to like clear and cleanse. So the chrysanthemum tea is really good for helping to clear acne, hives, swelling, and the canker sores. So it just really flushes everything out again. In the most gentle way. And I have to say, even though I've shown you 3 different drinks today, you have to drink them in moderation. Don't drink them all together. They're not designed to be like, double-fisted. They all have different properties. And for me, I just kind of choose them depending on what I feel like on the day, because they're all really healing, which is what TCM ingredients really kind of highlight. Food is medicine, drinks is medicine, and consistency is key. Every time I have a rash or hives on my body, which happens very often these days, I drink any one of these drinks, it like almost instantly goes down. Like the next day, I feel so much more at ease. I don't have itchiness all over my body. Like I'll literally get red bumps. If I scratch it, it becomes even more like it's almost welts. And that's another sign of your skin trying to tell you that it's got like too much heat. And that's actually the one thing that I've learned to really love about TCM. It's all about learning how to read the signs that your own body is telling you. I thought it was so hard and difficult to understand until I kind of took a step back and just like kind of learned to listen and take it slowly and trial and error and see how I feel after each food or drink, and you will be so amazed at how much you can understand and learn about yourself. So I hope you enjoyed. And if you haven't seen my previous video, I did a whole collagen boosting drink that was called Tongso, and check out my acupuncture and inner wellness healing journey in the video here as well. I'll link all the details below, and I'll see you guys next time. Cheersies!